what it is or what was in it, or do you even remember where it is? Does anybody else in your family know where it is? That's the other thing. Just the other day in Philadelphia, I don't know, it's just been sticking in my mind, and it was at like 4:30 in the afternoon, and somebody was on the major freeway going through Philadelphia, and some piece of metal came off of something and went through the windshield and killed her. And she was 33 years old. And it's just like one of those things that it can happen in a second, and you don't know. And we all think, we all think we're gonna get sick and then we're gonna pass away, but you know what? We don't know. And the problem is that when we're gone, the people who love us are stuck with picking up the pieces or figuring out what we're gonna do with the assets. And you don't even have to have a lot of assets to really need a will. We have something that's so super cool, and I am so glad that Paige Volovich is here to tell us about this, because what we're offering, just so you know, you can buy this kit that is either for a single person, a singular person, you don't have to be single, but a singular person, or you can buy it as a couple. If you buy it in the single version, it's $139 or 5 payments of $27.80. If you buy it in the two-person version, this is $199 or about $39.80 a month. We're talking peace of mind, being prepared. Let me ask you this first. Yeah. Why should we have a will?
Well, if you don't have a will, guess who makes one for you? The government. And that's something you don't want to happen. So what a will is, it's a legal document that states how your assets will be distributed. That could be your property, that could be possessions, your children, your animals. A lot of people don't think about that. Maybe it's your final wishes. Yeah. So that's all in one location. And I think the common misconception, you and I have talked about it before, is that I don't need a will, that someone doesn't need a will. But I'll tell you, if you're 18 years old, if you have a bank account, if you own a home, if you have children or pets, because regardless, it's going to go to probate court, which leaves a huge headache. And quite honestly, your family is in so much pain and grief that they're going to have to be worrying about all the financial implications and just the time, and it's very costly. So this is just the most meaningful, beautiful gift that you can give your family. I call it my little instruction book for them.
How many people have a will or don't have a will, or those kinds of things?
Well, it's actually staggering, because 2/3 of American adults don't have a will. And when they break that down, it's actually 34% is the number that people have a will. So only a small chunk. And we're not here to shame anyone, because I'll tell you, this has been my mantra and my mission the past 2 months with all my family and loved ones. And I was just out to dinner with my girlfriend, who's an attorney. And I kept saying, hey, Susie, do you have a will? Do you have a will? And she kept telling me, can you pass the bread? She kept trying to distract me. She was embarrassed, and I get it, because I've been there before. And everyone has a different motivation factor. For her, she said, I just have been dreading it. It just felt like such a heavy conversation. And I said, that's what I love about Trust and Will. You know, they take something that we all dread, and you shift your thinking, because in 20 minutes, you've went from dread to complete relief.
Peace of mind.
Peace of mind, because it's that gift. And that's what Trust and Will is all about. And they really have revolutionized the way that families plan for their future. And what they've created here is they designed this online will process. And it's step by step.
How we would do this. Because then my thing is, well, am I going to be able to figure this out?
Well, that's such a great question, and I'm so glad you bring that up, because what you'll get home once you invest in your Trust and Will is you'll get this redeemable coupon or voucher. You go online, and then you start entering the most basic information, you know, where you live, your name, your date of birth, but then it becomes a step-by-step process. They ask the question, and you answer. So, and as you're answering, it's actually going to be customizing your will for you. And so right here, you get it home, you hit will, and you just start off with the basics. Then, as you progress, 3 of the key components is you pick your beneficiary, you pick an executor, you pick a guardian. And as you're going through this, one of my favorite features is, as they ask you a question, they'll also help prompt you, and they'll say most common answers. This is what most people say. Now, You can do it in 20 minutes, or you can break it up in chunks. You can take a month to do it. You may need to reflect on this.
Yeah.
But what I'm so honored and proud is they have the best-in-class member services team.
Right.
You can call them, email them, they'll walk
Which
you
is
through the
awesome.
process.
So then here's my question. How do I know this would be legally binding?
Yes, so what they've done is they truly made it so very easy. At the end of the 20 minutes, you select that you're finished, then they will actually send you the final will in 2 components. So you're gonna receive these in the mail. You get this beautiful folder, it's customized for you. So here's your will, and then also part of your will are your healthcare decisions. So you have your healthcare decision makers built in.
Like a power of attorney type
Power
of
of
thing.
attorney, and you have someone making those decisions. You put these together, and you're gonna sign it, you're gonna get it notarized, and then it is effective right away.
The key is make sure you sign it and make sure you get it notarized. But you can get things notarized at so many different
Oh, yeah.
places. I mean, a lot of times banks and, you know, auto places, whatever. My question right now is it state specific? Like what if you're from New Jersey, I'm
Yes.
from Pennsylvania.
That's what's something that was so impressive. So it was a team of their leading experts and attorneys. They have crafted the will. But as you go through your online will and you put in your state, it recognizes New Jersey is different from Pennsylvania. And why that matters, it's state specific. So it has different questions and different laws. So rest assured when you sign this and notarize this,
Right.
that it is state specific immediately. And I'll tell you again, lean on their team of experts.
Right.
Reach out and call it 6 days a week. They'll walk you through. They have actually been trained in grief counseling.
Oh,
So they
wow.
really know how to navigate,
Yeah.
you know, very trying scenarios. And they'll make sure your questions are answered, but
Wow.
absolutely state specific.
And the other thing too, if you think about it, a lot of times state reps or different local offices, community offices will do notaries as well for free.
Yeah.
So, and typically notaries is usually $10 or less or something. But the other thing that I wanted to ask you was, what happens, how do I have it? Do I get it in my hands? How do I know it's secure? That type of thing.
You know, I keep saying this is my favorite thing. This is another one of my favorite things about trust and will, because I'll be very honest, when my husband and I did our will 13 years ago, we were going on our first trip without our kids.
Yeah.
And so we went and we had our will in place. It was $1,500. And guess what we ended up doing? We got our will and we took it home and we put it away. But we didn't share it with anyone. We didn't tell anyone. And now looking back, I said, how naive was I? But I didn't think through that process. So trust and will, once you finish this, it actually will prompt you, Mary Beth, and it'll say, do you want to share with anyone?
Wow.
So you can share
Like
it
an
instantly.
executor
Your
or
executor, your
somebody like
sister,
that.
and
Yeah.
maybe you want to share with a bunch of people so everyone knows where it is. You know, forever, my parents, when they would go away on their vacations, we always went through everything. This is where this is. This is where this important document is.
Yeah.
But once you send that to someone, you have that peace of mind.
Yeah.
Plus, know that it's in a digital vault.
Right.
So it's safeguarded that
So
way.
what do you mean by that? A digital vault, meaning Trust and Will, which is the company name.
Yes.
They will hold on to it in a digital form for you.
Yes.
That then you can always get from them at some other point if you need to.
That's right. Because
Right?
think about it, maybe you're traveling,
Yeah,
right? And you want to have
exactly.
access to it. Or maybe you,
Right.
again, think of someone else you want to add to and
Yeah.
send that to.
That was my other question.
Yeah.
Can I change it at
Oh,
any
yeah,
point?
yeah. So that's the cool thing. So what they've created on this online platform is that first year, you can change it and make all the additions, anything you want to do, because think about it, this is a working document.
Yeah.
Your life changes, the scenarios change, and then if further down the line you want to change it, you can sign up and do that at that
Yeah.
point. And this is good for a year to make all those changes.
So you might change, maybe you have another baby, or
That's right.
you get married, or you get divorced, or who knows, maybe you just moved and your address is different. I was saying to Paige, it's kind of like if you have to change your driver's license, you need to change your will and things like that.
Yes.
So especially if it's for, like an address change. So I want to go back to, because we've got about 4 minutes left. If someone just tuned in and they're like, you know what? I have never done a will, or I don't want to even think about it because A, I don't even know who to go to.
Right.
B, I know it's expensive. I'm not sure what I'll need or how to do this. And it's scary. It's kind of, I know Mark and I actually told Paige, I said, we did a will, but it was 25 years
Yeah.
ago. Do you know, I haven't looked at it since. I really haven't. And I thought, you know, you just go about your life and you don't think about it. And I couldn't even probably tell you where it is right now because we just moved, so I haven't a clue.
Yeah.
But you know, the thing is that if I would redo it now, and I already did a will, which one it takes precedence?
Great question. So, and it's a popular one because a lot of us may have one. Again, I haven't touched mine in 13 years. So when you sign up for your on will with Trust and Will, and you go online, once you go through that process and you have it signed by yourself and you have it notarized, that actually voids out your old will. So that's no longer
So that's
applicable.
good.
So this becomes your new working document that is effective.
And speak for a moment about the power of attorney and
Yeah.
how important that is, because none of us know that you could have an accident, but maybe you're not, you don't pass away, but you don't have the brain capacity to
Yeah.
make decisions.
And honestly, you know, I talk about this as your instruction book. Trust and Will really wants to think of this in such a beautiful way because it is a beautiful gift that they
Yeah.
don't have to worry about. They want to do right by you. But when you have it all laid out, all your healthcare decisions, if this scenario happens, I want this to happen. So once you have that all written out and have that under your power of attorney document, and that is an option, it's built in here for you. They'll tell you what most people do. You can decide.
Yeah.
It really takes out all the pain and anguish for your loved ones because they don't know what your wishes are.
Right.
So think about this, not only how your assets will be distributed,
Yeah.
but your final wishes. And no one can decide that for you unless you force them to without a will.
By the way, do I have
Yeah.
to do it on a computer or could I do it on a tablet?
Oh, it's so
Or-
funny. Pat Dementri, she did hers on her phone. Okay. You can do it on a phone, you can do it on a tablet, you can do it on a computer,
Yeah.
but it is fast, it's easy. It is truly a 20-minute process, but
Wow.
you can break it up in chunks,
Yeah.
you can take a month, you can sit with someone, you can walk through that process, and you're finished.
Let's talk one more last time
Yeah.
about how to do it. We're going to show a video too. Explain
Thank
this.
you. Yes, so you will receive at home this redeemable voucher. And once you go online, you fill out your basic credentials with your name, your address, do you have children? And then it walks you through, do you have pets? Who would you like to share this with? And then it actually has a question and answer series. So it is a guided tour by yourself. So it asks you a question, you answer, and you move on to the next question. Now, if at any point you have any questions during this
Right.
process, you reach out to their member services and they'll help guide you. Now, they're not going
Is
to
that
give
a
you
number
legal.
I can call?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a number we've included on that. So
Yeah.
they're not going to give you the legal guidance,
Right.
but they're going to tell you, you know, how to navigate through this scenario.
Yeah, amazing. And
Yeah.
state specific. After you put in your address, it knows then what state you're in. Remember, we are making this available to you as an individual will or a will for a couple. And so, like for me, it would be for Mark and me.
Right.
But somebody else who maybe doesn't have a spouse, they just want to do it on their own. If you do it for the individual, it's $139 or $27.80 per month. We have fewer than 1,500 remaining, and that is the most popular. If you want the two-person plan, that's $199 or $39.80. And oh, by the way, just like everything with QVC, you get a 30-day return policy. If you get this home and you start to do it and you're like, you know what, I don't like this, don't want to do this, you literally just send it back and get your money back. But can I just tell you, you said you spent $1,500 getting a will.
I did.
I know we spent probably close to twice that much. And so it was, and that was 25 years ago. And which is why we haven't done it again for
That's right.
25 years. But it's
Yeah.
like, if we do this, this will take precedence over
It
an
does.
old one. But just make sure you have one. Do that for your family and those who love you the most, because it really saves them so many headaches and so much frustration.
It does.
And you get your wishes done too.
Amen.
Thank you, Paige.
Thank you,
I
Mary
appreciate
Beth,
it
so
so
much.
much. So interesting. Well, we have, this is Q at Noon, and we've got all kinds of great things, but let me just say, Tommy Copper socks is one of my favorite things. I love to wear them every day, but we have a brand new set for you at a big deal price. But you know what? I like this actor who you're going to hear from next, Chris Maloney.